All right, perfect. Hey, everyone, we're back live, and we're here at the L. Hervis Peak Transportation Center in downtown Milwaukee, and we have a special guest with us. And, we just got done talking about our Rev Up program and our grants and all the things our grants do. But you know what? Oftentimes, things come down to people donating their time, and we've been really, really lucky, both with the car show and with our programs, to have people that donate their time to us. And I'd like to introduce Elon Werner, who's become my dear friend, and he's going to introduce our special guest.
Everybody, thanks. We're really pleased to have Ken Lingenfelter join us. Ken is an amazing individual that has a private collection, but then he also shares a lot of his cars online. He's got a surprise for us at the end of the segment. But Ken, can you talk about what your passion for car collecting, kind of where that began, and a little bit about how you got started with your collection?
I certainly can. Keep in mind that I also own Lingenfelter Performance Engineering, and we're going to be 45 years old this year. We've been tuning Corvettes and drag racing, and we've set a lot of speed records. Actually, even raced the Blue Angels with one of our cars not that long ago. But the car collection, I'm an over-the-top kind of a car guy. In fact, a lot of my non-car guy friends think I need psychiatric help, but I like to hang around other car guys because it makes me feel normal. But I've always been a car guy. My dad was a General Motors Fisher Body executive. He was working in Euclid, Ohio, got me used to cars when I was about 5, 6, 7 years old. Took me to an open house at the General Motors Tech Center when I was 10, and I saw my first split window Corvette.
Oh, wow.
And he said he couldn't shut me up the rest of the way home. I was not only a car guy, but that was going to make me a Corvette guy for life, and that's really the way it's worked out. So the collection, I have owned other businesses, and thank goodness, because they helped me provide the revenue for what I'm doing today. But the car collection, I had probably about 50 cars in 2001, 2002. All great cars. My wife and I decided that it might be good to see if there's some way we could share those cars with everybody. And so I bought a larger building. We have 250 cars now. We keep about 200 on display in the facility, but it has a specific mission. It's we do charity fundraisers there. So it's not open to the public, but we open it to, American Cancer Society and Ronald McDonald House and the Pink Fund for breast cancer. And so we did 60 events there last year, everything from black tie events to pizza and beer with car guys. And so it's just one way to help me feed my habit too, believe me. That helps me justify buying more cars too, right? So,
right.
But we're having a lot of fun with it. It's about 30% muscle cars and about 30% exotics, and the rest are Corvettes and some of my old race cars from back in the day.
Is there one car that you kind of was like your Moby Dick car that you waited or had to get and then finally got in your collection?
Well, it's interesting, and I told you what an impact that 63 split window had on me, and I have to tell you, I think I've got the nicest 63 split window Fuelie around, and it's still by far my favorite car. Now there's a LaFerrari in the collection, and there's a Bugatti Veyron, and there's a lot of other really cool cars as well. But it's amazing how one car can have such an impact on somebody, and that's what this one did. And by the way, the view of that car is from the back. If you're going to see that car, you look through that split window, and that interior and everything else just, again, takes the legs right out from underneath me. So,
and Ken, if you don't mind, before we got started, you had mentioned a longer video. So now that you've teased us with all those cars, well, that was I know from the Peterson Museum too. But we might have to get some more of your cars out there for people to see. But I think you shared something really special with us, and I almost fell off my computer chair when I saw the video. I couldn't believe it. And would you just like to introduce the video that we're going to be seeing on our matccarshow.com site? That'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be great. I think it's a very special car to me, and I think everybody who watches the short video will like it.
Can you tell us a little bit more? I mean, they're going to see the car, but how did you acquire that? How did you acquire that car, Ken?
Well, as a result of again being in the car world and everything else, I got close. I've gotten pretty close to the people at Ferrari and also Lamborghini. The president of Lamborghini at that time was Stefan Winkelmann. He's now the president of Bugatti. But they understood that I had a significant collection and that my passion was really deep. And so there was a decision made to build 20 Lamborghini Reventons, and they reached out to me to see if I would want one of them because I wanted to make certain that every person that got one was a sincere car person. And I think after an interview, I didn't even realize I was being interviewed, but I think they realized that I was the kind of guy they wanted to sell one of their cars to. So
now I don't want to give any secret sauce away, but what was that interview like, or what was that conversation like when? At what point did you realize, hey, I'm being interviewed about possibly getting one of these cars?
Well, this took place at Pebble Beach, and what happened is Stefan invited me to a showing, a kind of a place where I had to leave my cell phone and sign an NDA. And I went into a room and sat down, met a number of the other executives, and they showed me a short video of this car running through nice, great Italian roads and through a couple of warehouses, making all kinds of great car noises and tire noises. And when it was all said and done, they asked me what I thought, and I told them, "Oh my gosh, it's just an amazing car." They had a scale model of the car as well up on a cocktail table, and they said they had some questions for me. They wanted my opinion on some styling tips and things. So we walked through all of that, and they said, "If this car available, would you want one?" I said, "Well, of course I would," but they said, "Well, sorry, they're all gone, but we wanted to let you know that we were thinking of you." And then Stefan asked me to breakfast the next morning. And when I got down to breakfast, he said, "We really do have a car for you." He said, "I'm sorry we teased you like that." But he said, "I told myself I'm going to look every guy who gets one in the eyes and have them promise me that they're just not going to flip this car for money." And so I looked him in the eye. I said, "Of course not. That's not the way I work, and that's not the way I would do it." And he said, "Well, then, if that's the case, we have a car for you." And it was a blast. I actually took delivery of the car in Bologna, and Bologna, Italy. So very special car to me.
Well, that is just amazing. And we can't thank you enough. And I'll tell you what, it's funny how we got to you, Ken. I was talking to somebody, a friend of mine who is a collector, and he's actually a picker too. I think he's got 150 gas pumps. And he knows Frank Fritz of the whatever show that is, American Pickers, I think. And I said, "Hey, can you get Frank on?" And he goes, "I'm not sure, but why don't you call Dana Meekum? He's from Wisconsin." And I'm like, "Oh, well, sure. I'll just call Dana Meekum right out of the blue, right?" So I just got on my phone and looked up Meekum Auctions, and I live about 30 minutes north of their place right on the border of Wisconsin, Illinois. And I called, and he wasn't in, and I got his assistant. And then he said, and all of a sudden, 10 minutes later, John calls, John Craman, and goes, "Hey, Steve, we'll do whatever you'd like." And I said, "It's for the students. It's great." And I said, "Wow, John." And of course, I recognize his voice because I've watched every Meekum auction show there ever was, And I'm like, "That's the professor." And then he just said, "We'll do something for you." And he goes, "Hey, I know this guy." And I'm like, "Oh, here we go." His name is Ken. I said, "Wow, I recognize that name." So I could go online. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, that'd be great." But I thought, he's not going to do it. So you know what? We really, really appreciate the fact that you took time out of your day to help us out. And, we're just, I love the fact that you use your collection to help others. And one thing that we found out from this car show and all the folks that have done videos for us, we've got NASCAR drivers, NHRA, collectors, all kinds of people stepping forward. People in the car business are just good people, and the fact that everybody wants to help, and this is a really strange time we're living in right now, and our students are struggling, and they're struggling a lot, but we're still trying to hang in there and help them graduate. We had a whole bunch of students at the end of our auto program that should have graduated on May 15th. And we're hoping that we can help them graduate in the end of June or July, and if not in the fall. And this car show just kind of shows their resiliency and that of our faculty that helped me put all this together. And we just really appreciate you taking the time to help us out as well.
Well, you mentioned some people that were just near and dear to my heart. I mean, John is the best, and Dana Meekum is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I've attended a lot of the cars in the collection I've actually bought at Meekum auctions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have to tell you, the people that I've met along the way are really what drives me as well. The passion that I see in other people, like I said, makes me feel normal. So, and it is interesting times. I mean, last weekend I was supposed to be at my 42nd Indy 500 in a row. And thank goodness they postponed it and not canceled it. So, because I still, that first lap, I'm at the end of turn one, and I can't even begin to tell you the excitement I feel at each one of those races. So I'm looking forward to that in August. But there are wonderful people in this business, believe me.
Well, we really, really appreciate again. And, I'm going to go online and we're going to check out, I'm going to make sure that everybody goes online and checks out your site. And if you want to plug that, you can do that as well.
All right. Yeah, I do. I mean, anything and everything. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. And, if you need me some more, you just let me know and I'll be there.
We'll do that. Thank you very much, Ken.
Okay.
We appreciate it. Thanks, Ken. You guys have a good afternoon.
Okay. Take care, guys.
Be well.
Thank you.
Thanks.